Hello everyone, my name is Annual, and it's been a while because it's been really hard to try to climb as well as make videos for this game. So this is actually going to be the second Emperor draft thought process for here. Now the only differences from the last year is my win rate did drop because I did get a little bit tilted and slammed way too many games, but if you actually look at my total game count, the difference between my wins and losses are not that big. So relatively it's not as bad, and I've been raising it thanks to the help of one of my friends in the community. So I tried to look through my logs to find some matches that looked pretty good because if I look through some of the wins lately, they're not too good to show because the opponent didn't pick too well. This draft as a whole shows something like Hellion Lua and Mo Lua on the right side, and one of the stronger DPS is Tori. So let's talk about this draft and what I was thinking through this draft process, right? So I had first pick here with Mo Para. I love to take Mo Para. If you check my win rate for her on X7 match history is very, very high. At least for the past couple of days at least. So I spam Mo Para as much as possible. She's really good, and since I'm not very fast, I can I also have her as a cleanser, right? My para is 285 speed at the moment because I just got a really good speed piece, so I have it on her. But because of the fact that I'm not as fast, if they go before me, which usually that is the case, I will have a cleanser to cleanse off of debuffs off Hellion Lua, or like any other opener, like maybe Emma Luna, and I can aggress on them or cleanse it off at any point in time. So that's the reason why I take her so much. So either way, I take my first pick as Para. He responds Lua Crow. Now here, I take Abyssal Yufine. Abyssal Yufine has been really, really strong as of lately as a second pick, so that's the reason I take it. It's reliable, it's somewhat neutral, and it's pretty great. And now I lock in, from this point here, I'm going to lock in a cleanser on 3. This ensures if he bans my opener, I have a way to fight the Lua. So I take Laya on 3, which is also good into Crow because there's no world where a Crow will actually solo a Laya. So this here means A, I have a cleanser for his first pick, and B, I have a carry that can fight against Crow in the endgame if something were to happen to my Abyssal Yufine because of Crow S3ing or something. So he decides to take Tori and Mo Luna. Mo Luna being super strong, as well as Tori being able to absolutely nuke off my Abyssal Yufine and my Laya. So from here, I decided to take a counter pick into his 3P. I found Bellion to be very good because of 3F proc, which is good into his second pick, and it also denies his book, so he can no longer burn on either Luna or Lua. And I decided to take Flan because she's very strong here as a damage dealer. Right, because I looked at the rest of my draft and I'm like, okay, I have damage on my 2, I have 2 support, I have a carry on my 3, I have an opener on my 1, and I have a counter pick on 4. So I'm like, okay, I'll just take additional damage, and I decided to take Flan because I can aggress with it. And because I played to pick for his top 4, I just didn't care about his last pick and banned 5. Now if I do pick something weaker on 5, you might want to consider banning something else, but since I picked to play into top 4, I ban 5. And this is how the match goes. So he completely outspeeds me because of his Lua being faster than me, and he decides to press buttons here. Now, I just want to take a look at the speed bar because I actually didn't know how much faster he was than me, and it turns out he was 2%, meaning he was roughly around 290. So we get provoked and we snap out of provoke here. I decided to press buttons so we can push ahead of the Mo Luna. And I hit Luna here. I hit Tori. Tori is the priority target here because if we get Tori off of field here, then pretty much he doesn't have anything that has high damage towards my team. I decided to S1 with Laya, that way we can cycle as well as have a cleanse against Mo Luna, meaning he has to save his S2 in order to... his S3, his seal, in order to fight me. Unfortunately, because of Lua here, all the counters go into Yufine, and she pretty much dies here. She takes a pretty huge chunk of damage. but unfortunately he miskilled, so he had to sack his last hit into Abyssal Euphine, because if he doesn't deal with Abyssal Euphine, I will take a turn. So he either has to A, waste a hit into Abyssal Euphine, or try to greed me and kill Bellion. Or Elia, one of the two. And of course he can't sacrifice it, so he goes into Abyssal Euphine. I decided to go for an S. I think I should have S1. Because I want to save my cleanse, because Luna didn't use her S3 yet. And I pulled Bellion, which is really good pull. Now, if he S3s on this turn here, I will just Soul Burn S1. If he S1s here, for cycling, we S3, which will provoke pushback. But the reason being is because we have defense buff on their S3 as well, which means we take less damage. But since we can't buff ourselves to give us that defense buff, I decided to just go for Soul Burn S1, which will hit Tori twice, and it should kill her because of the pop damage. And remember what we said in the drafting phase, there is no world where Kraus should be able to solo Elia. So our Elia is at full HP, he has a horse, but he can't horse Elia. Horsing Elia is his win con, but I even have a full HP Bellion here. So at this point, I just go for push up, because I don't need to have my passive anymore, and pushing up my team means that Elia gets to go sooner. And we just keep focusing the Luna because she's the next threat. Once Luna is dead, he can't do anything. He tries to go for a provoke here, but couldn't hit. It's pretty much GG's here. He can't win. And then we just go for S3 here, because with effectiveness buff, we should be over 100, which means this guy is dead out. And that kills. Okay, let's go on to the next match. Okay, this next match I'm showing here is an Elvira Roper. So basically I can show you what you can do if you do run into Elvira Roper, but it is pretty darn hard to deal with. So he first picks Para, and so I decided to take the next best option, which is Emo Luna in Abyssal Euphine. Abyssal Euphine being pretty good here into the Emo Para. He then takes Rat and then Acades. Acades is good into Emo Luna, but she gets her CR cut by Abyssal Euphine, so it's not exactly the best pick. Rat is just an overall strong pick to pick with Para. So I decided to take Emo Poly, which is another opener here, but it slows down what Shu does, meaning I can have a better chance of surviving what the Shu has to Onslaught. And then I decided to take Celine countering his third pick and his first pick, as in if he presses buttons on either one of those things, I have a chance to kill a target. He decides to go for Elvira and then Polly. Polly to counter my second pick, and then Elvira to counter my second pick. Polly to counter my third pick, and then Elvira to counter my second pick. And I decide to go with Tywin. The reason why I went Tywin here is I was running out of time in the draft, as well as Tywin, it can deal with Elvira. And Tywin was the MVP of the match because we were here for a whopping 31 turns. This match did come down to the wire due to RNG. So yes, I tried to S1 the Acades to chip her, and then unfortunately we proc the Idle Share. And so because of that, I decided to go into the Poly, and fortunately that thing was literally squishy and died to one pop. He unfortunately goes into into Abyssal Euphine here, which caused her to get Death Broken. And because I didn't rip S3 here, I just S1'd, which stole a little bit of his souls. And unfortunately from that, we lose Abyssal Euphine very early. I decided to S1 because I don't want to give him S3 with his Arcades to give random buffs. He gets pretty lucky here and gets a stun off and a dual attack provoke. So I decided to put S3 here because now that Polly is dead, I don't have any threats for pressing S3, and also we need to slow down the aggression of the Shu. If the Shu is any faster than she already is, we're probably going to die really quickly. He decides to go on to Tywin in order to proc my passive, and then he gets the extra attack here. Our goal here is to try to knock Shu out of stealth and run her down, but unfortunately because of the fact that we have two things that we need to beat through in order to get through it, it makes it quite hard, especially with the Arcades aggressing the Shu quite a lot of turns. I figured we needed to get this Arcades out of here, because if we keep Arcades in this match, we're not going to be able to keep up. And we go for burn here because we're going to need Tywin's S3 at least every other turn in order to deal with this. We get a defense break off and I decide to S2 into the Arcades to get her off board. This gives us the ability to S3 on Luna next turn and get a seal onto this rat. And unfortunately we do get provoked, so all we can do is hit him. But fortunately because of Tywin, we're stealing his souls. Now we unfortunately lose Luna here, but there's nothing much that we can do here. The only other option is to completely keep repping our skills. Now luckily we were able to provoke the Elvira because it ignored ER, meaning she couldn't of course burn if she wanted to, but we were stealing his souls because of 8 times S1. Now once again we have no choice, we have to rip the S3 in order to keep him under control so we don't die. You're able to get an extra X3 off here, which puts him into speed down, as well as gives us a little bit of a speed up to make sure that he does not take a turn. Because of this, we were able to get a couple of dual attacks in, which completely chunked his HP. Unfortunately, we died of pop damage here. And of course we just rip S3 again and we burn it. And I think we kill here. And there we go. Anyways, hopefully that can help you out. It's just a little bit of my thinking. Hopefully this can help you out. Happy climbing. Hopefully you can get the masters to get yours to get level 7. See ya.